Have you ever wondered what the difference is between PI planning and sprint planning? As core events in Agile frameworks like Scrum and SAFe, understanding when and how to use each is key. In this video, we'll compare these two planning methods across 8 aspects so you can decide which approach works best for your team. First, let's define what PI planning and sprint planning are. PI planning stands for Program Increment Planning, where multiple Agile teams come together to coordinate and plan program increments that span 8 to 12 weeks. Sprint planning, on the other hand, refers to planning meetings that occur at the start of each sprint, which is typically a fixed period of time lasting 1 to 4 weeks. Now that we have a basic understanding of what PI planning and sprint planning are, let's look at how they differ in terms of these 8 aspects. Let's start with frequency. PI planning happens once every 8 to 12 weeks, while sprint planning happens once every 1 to 4 weeks. This means that PI planning is a less frequent but more comprehensive event, while sprint planning is a more frequent but more focused event. Next is scope. PI planning covers the entire project, while sprint planning focuses on the tasks for a specific iteration cycle. PI planning involves defining high-level features for the upcoming program increment, while sprint planning involves breaking down these features into smaller, more manageable tasks and user stories. Next is participants. PI planning typically involves the entire team, as well as any stakeholders who are involved in the project. Sprint planning, on the other hand, is usually attended only by the members of the team who will be working on the tasks for the current iteration cycle. Next is objectives. PI planning spans multiple iteration cycles, aligning teams with program priorities. Sprint planning focuses on tasks for a single iteration to deliver value. PI planning builds shared understanding, while sprint planning creates achievable plans for customer value. Next is duration. PI planning lasts 2 to 3 days and involves various interactive planning activities such as brainstorming, modeling, and breakout discussions. Sprint planning lasts 1-2 hours and involves estimating and prioritizing tasks and user stories. Next is outputs. The outcome of PI planning is a set of defined objectives, priorities, and features for the program increment, providing a roadmap for the development teams. Sprint planning results in a sprint backlog detailing tasks and user stories for the upcoming sprint. A sprint goal summarizes its value and a burn-down chart to monitor progress. Next is risks and dependencies. PI planning helps identify and address potential risks and dependencies across teams and programs, and creates a plan to mitigate them. Sprint planning helps identify and address potential risks and dependencies within the team and the sprint, and creates a plan to resolve them. Last one is flexibility. PI planning allows for some flexibility and adaptation during the program increment, as teams can adjust their plans based on feedback and changing conditions. Sprint planning, however, requires more commitment and consistency, as teams are expected to deliver what they planned at the beginning of the sprint. Now you understand the major differences between these two important Agile planning approaches. Sprint planning provides tactical planning for each sprint, while PI planning gives strategic direction for the overall product vision. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more insightful content.